You're recording? Move to the music, baby. That music. The music. Let's get it on. What was the, Which one is it? Let me look. Is it really? I mean, they've done Papa Roach 2 different times, I think, haven't they? "2019, Born of Greatness, Born for Greatness."
Good, Huh.
They never play it from the beginning of the song, though. They always play the chorus, I think. Yeah, just hold on, yeah. Just gone mad, but say that song. Hold on, hey. Yeah, I remember this one. Life one chance, what I've been. That is world mad.
It's the last one.
It's Enemies is the name of the song. So weird. Remember Fireflies? God. Who's hosting this thing?
You are.
I never was told who was hosting. I gotta scroll up through the gazillion messages. To try to find the damn intro again, yeah. Yeah, sure. Unless you sent it in Discord before, maybe you did. You sent the sponsor to one. Oh, I gotta request access to this thing? Damn it. Open that dang thing up. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor.
Not Raw for a while. And ECW. The theme, I mean.
It was ECW's for a while, I remember that.
I think you confirmed this last time. Talked about it. Oh, right. You said it was Raw, and then someone else said it was ECW. Right. I remember now.
It was ECW, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Ugh. Ugh. A lot of Endgame, my friend.
I watch like every Marvel movie and I have a headache.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, are you recording?
He's
Okay,
been
well,
recording.
I'm gonna tell you guys that in Endgame,
Ha!
no one's ever gonna watch.
Nobody ever watches our podcast anymore.
Dude, you can't just say
Hey,
that.
spoilers.
Hey man, now we have to mark the episode, like
Spoiler.
asterisk Endgame spoilers.
Asterisks. They merged. They merged.
I didn't watch
Billy
this yet.
died.
Was it good?
Billy died. Kevin.
We were going to watch
liked
it last week, but we didn't have time.
Welcome to the Botched Finish Podcast screencast here. We're talking a little bit about entertainment news.
So wait, are we? Do we need to review all rock movies now? We're a wrestling podcast.
All the Rock movies. Oh my lord.
And,
Or best
and Roman
best
Reigns appearances.
movies. Best movies that have WWE superstars in them.
Oh yeah, of course, Holmes and Watson.
Holmes and Watson. They had Braun Strowman in it.
Yep.
Do we even have a topic of the show? Oh, you're right. So let's just cut the topic. All right, we're gonna do this. I'm jumping in. I'm diving in. Let's start it up. Well, all right. Welcome everybody to the Botched Finish Podcast. This is a podcast where we chat about wrestling, mostly WWE stuff, but sometimes when the news comes in, we talk a little bit about Ring of Honor, and we also have a little bit of a guest usually drop in and talk about New Japan. But I'm one of your hosts, Tay Gatto Bebe, 61, and on the other side of the Xbox, we have the one and only Kevin Ace X. How's it going, Kev? There you go. And on the other side of him, to his immediate left, right, center, whatever it is, Killer Payback. How you going, Killer Payback? How's it going?
I know, honestly, I just don't get how the fate of Howard Potts ended. Still kind of traumatized.
Years. Okay, so we are missing our fourth member of this podcast this week just because Ant-Man 0208 is hanging with the family, and we had to record the podcast a little bit late this week because of Endgame. That's true. He was in the movie. He was taking care of things. Ant-Man was in there doing his ant thing. So unfortunately, he had other business to take care of this weekend with Endgame coming out. So we will not be hearing from him this week. And I'm glad to be back on the podcast after the week hiatus to come back on here and talk a little wrestling with you fellas. And yeah, there's a lot of wrestle talk happening. And so, like we said before, this is the Botched Finish Podcast. Each and every week, 4, maybe 5, sometimes 3, depending on who's even available. Wrestling fans gather around this Xbox Live party until we jump to Discord. Maybe, who knows. Each we bring you opinions on the WWE shows of the week. And if you like that, you can follow us on bit.ly/botchedfinishyt. That's bit.ly/botchedfinishyt. That is for the YouTube channel. Go up there, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It all helps us out here as we're building our channel. And you can follow us over on Twitter. twitter.com/botchfinish. So that's botch without the ED, finish. You can go look that up on twitter.com. And we also have a Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/botched finish, just like the podcast name. And we will be over there doing live streams sometimes of our reactions to pay-per-views. And also F SoundCloud, as Kevin's putting in the doc as I'm reading that. All right, love it. That's so stupid. Gosh. All right, he got me. F SoundCloud. But yeah, that's twitch.tv/botchedfinish over there on the Twitch. So, boys, you ready to get in here? We got a few things going on this week and Raw, Smackdown, as well as our normal little games that we normally do, as well as a little NXT report. Are we getting a New Japan report this week or no? We believe we are. And Payback, you got some news that you've wrangled together for us?
Yeah.
All right, that's it. That's a yes. Okay, so we're going to kick it off here with our first show of the week, and that is Raw. And with Raw this week, we had a lot of things happening. It was the Superstar Shakeup last week, like you guys talked about. That's our Superstar Shakeup episode. But there was a lot more superstars being shaken up that we didn't see last week, that they're apparently wanted on Raw, but wanted back on SmackDown. It's crazy. But it never ends. The Superstar Shakeup never ends until Money in the Bank. So we had Triple H kicking off the show, and he was talking a little bit, and he just kicks it right away to Seth Rollins. And this Raw took place on April, was it 22nd, I believe, or was it 21st? Gosh, my days are all mixed up. But it was on Monday of this past week, and it was in Iowa. We were in Des Moines, Iowa, so that's Iowa's hometown hero, Seth Rollins, that came out and addressed the crowd. The crowd was just going nuts. And then Triple H talked about making a decision to hold 2 triple threat matches tonight. The winners would square off of those triple threat matches at the end of the show to determine who the number 1 contender is for Rollins' title. And so they just each start walking out. And so the first one that came out and interrupted was Samoa Joe, who's the U.S. champion, but is on Raw now because he was sick last week, apparently, or we don't know that confirmed. That's just the backstage grumblings. But he is on Raw, and he is one of the competitors in the triple threat match. He talked about how he wanted to be a dual champion. Then out comes Booyaka, Booyaka, 619. And Rey Mysterio comes out. Then it's just like everyone's music's just deciding to hit. I thought this segment went way too long. It was Drew McIntyre, The Miz, Baron Corbin. Why the hell is Baron Corbin in there? And AJ Styles. All followed out, each having words for the other superstars, talking about how they deserve it over the other one. Styles promised it would be him versus Rollins at Money in the Bank. The new champion said he did not matter who he faces because he's going to burn it down regardless. And the huge pop happens when he says burn it down because it's Rollins and he's in Iowa. So that was the first segment of the show, and they just kicked it off right away into the first triple threat match, and it was AJ Styles versus Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe. And let me tell you, boys, this was a really good match. It was a very good match. Wow, like this is a dream match for a lot of people. As early as like a decade ago, almost, with these 3 guys coming in the ring. And so late in the contest, Mysterio fired off a seated senton, and then he did a crucifix bomb for a 2 count on Styles, and Styles was dumped into ringside in short order. Mysterio tried a 619. Joe dodged it, got the coquina clutch. Styles interrupted that with a forearm, but had found himself trapped in the same hold in the coquina clutch. After more back and forth, Mysterio blasted Joe with a 619. He tried for the springboard, but he flew right into the arms of AJ Styles, who caught him with a nasty powerbomb. He picked him up again and delivered a powerbomb onto Joe. And then the third time he lifted Mysterio up, Styles clashed him onto Joe, and AJ got the pinfall over Joe there in that one. So that was the kickoff match of the night, and let me tell you what, guys, I have a lot of opinions on it, and I think it was one of the it was probably the best match of the night in my opinion. But we're gonna, yeah, absolutely, and it's crazy that that's the match that was at the beginning of the show, and then right after that you got Naomi coming out facing Billie Kay. 1 week after jumping to Raw in the Superstar Shakeup, it was Naomi against Billie Kay. Peyton Royce mocked Naomi, reminding her that she has no one to back her up now. And even though she responded by countering an interference from Royce. So Peyton Royce tried to get interference in there. She countered it and scored a roll-up pin for victory on Billie Kay, and they're making the Iconics look like idiots as heels, which I am not a huge fan of. And then you just jump to, right after that, another match that popped up was The Miz versus Drew McIntyre versus Baron Corbin. It was that second triple threat match. This match, to me, was not as good as the first one, but definitely wasn't that bad either. I thought it was going to be worse, but I think Miz really is putting on a really great show. And Drew McIntyre, like, they carried Baron Corbin. Like, I get that Baron Corbin is like, he's not that bad, but it's just, I don't know. I just don't like it at all. It was back and forth. The Miz survived an early assault to fire up, and he unloaded on McIntyre and Corbin. He delivered a springboard double axe handle and a series of kicks to the body. McIntyre cut it off, though, and tried for a suplex attempt. Corbin interjected himself and instigated a Tower of Doom spot that downed both opponents. Late in the match, Corbin recovered from a blind charge into the ring steps, and he tried for the end of days. Miz escaped, delivered DDT for a 2 count. He then dumped Corbin to the floor, but ran right into a Claymore kick from McIntyre. And alert Corbin re-entered the ring, tossed McIntyre to the floor, and covered Miz to win the match. And irate McIntyre watched on as the man he had been so closely associated with over the last 6 months celebrated a victory that should have been his. After that point, Sami Zayn came out and was doing his Sami Zayn thing lately, which is cutting really, really long promos. And he just said that he had been the only one with the guts to call out the fans for the way they are. He relived the 10 months of his life away from the ring. He put a bunch of photos up of his Instagram of all the different vacations he went, and claimed his return to the squared circle brought about depression and anxiety, but it wasn't because of the guys in the back who have enormous egos, but rather because of the fans. He said he is going to hold the WWE Universe accountable for telling the people of Des Moines to take a field trip to hell. So Sami Zayn continuing to banish people to hell here, it sounds like. I thought only The Undertaker and Kane could do that. The next match was the Cedric Alexander against Cesaro. And so Cesaro, interesting seeing him battling in singles competition here on Raw. Interesting stuff. I don't know if maybe that'll pop up in some news that Payback will talk about if Sheamus is injured or anything, or maybe they're doing a split up, or I don't know. But yeah. But Cedric Alexander, he made his Raw debut Monday. He battled Cesaro. And the Swiss Superman was a late addition to the Red Brand early in the afternoon, actually. So he grounded Alexander pretty well. Alexander fought back and delivered a big Michinuki driver for a near fall, but he delivered a nasty kick to the back of the head and wiped out Cesaro at ringside, following a high-risk dive. Back inside, Alexander tried for a springboard, but Cesaro caught him in midair with the huge uppercut, which looked super nasty, and Cesaro got the pinfall victory over Cedric Alexander there. And then we got a name change happening. We had the Lucha House Party versus the Viking Raiders, not the Viking Experience or the War Raiders, as we'll talk about in NXT. So who are these guys? I have no idea. They're not even Rowan Hansen anymore. They're Eric and Ivar. Okay, cool. Did they change it? Oh my gosh. So it was Kalisto, Grand Metalik, and Lince Dorado. This did not go very well for them. There was a double power bomb that downed Kalisto and then Dorado before the Viking Raiders, aka the War Raiders, which they should still be named that, finisher left the ladder down and out on the mat. So it was a no contest there. Yeah, that's so dumb. I don't understand this. You came out here and you had Becky Lynch versus Alicia Fox. The man entered the ring with a thunderous ovation. Becky Lynch had both Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship. I love what she's doing when she's on the show, that she, like, if she's on Raw, she's wearing the Raw belt. If she's on SmackDown, she's wearing the SmackDown belt. That's kind of cool. But she came out before a match and addressed Lacey Evans. Becky Two Belt said she had made a career smacking down blondes, favored by management, and Lacey is no different. The sassy Southern Belle, as they're calling her now, interrupted and vowed to take both titles. I'm going to take both your titles at Money in the Bank. But I don't think there's no way that she was going to get both titles anyways, because that is only for the Raw Women's Championship match. So that was a little bit of a blunder there by Lacey Evans. Alicia Fox's music played, and she made her match. She had her match with Lynch. Was this the first time that we've seen Alicia Fox since Arn got fired and that whole thing?
Yep.
Yeah, so that was interesting to see her back, but an aggressive Lynch took the fight to the floor. Fox turned the tide, dropped the man right away, but then they got back inside the ring. Fox scored a near fall, but Lynch soon fired off a comeback and tapped her out to the disarmor. After the match, though, Evans immediately entered the ring and knocked out Lynch with the women's right. She walked off to a chorus of boos. The next match here that came up right after this was a Ricochet versus Robert Roode. Robert, boys, not Bobby. Robert. Also, Robert Roode looking like Ravishing Rick Rude a lot here, and also wanted to rock a huge mustache that Corey and the commentating desk could not stop laughing about the whole entire time. So the newly repackaged Bobby Roode, aka Robert Roode, was sporting a quality mustache, and he went against the one and only Ricochet. The one and only stunned Rude with a dive heading into the commercial break, but it was the former NXT and Tag Team Champion who wrestled away control of the bout, grounding Ricochet. Ricochet mounted a comeback and pretty much tried to seize the opening there, but Rude cut it off as the action continued back and forth. Late, Bobby Roode tried for the glorious DDT, but Ricochet countered and delivered a TKO into a knee to the face for a 2 count. So that's like is that the code breaker? That's what is he, or no? Is he doing? Is he using a code breaker?
Yeah,
though. Now?
That's his
like
finisher.
his like signature.
That's his finisher now, pretty much. They're saving that.
And so then Ricochet, after that point, Ricochet tried for the 630, but Rude rolled away. And then after sending his opponent into the corner, Rude followed with a glorious DDT for the pinfall. So Robert Roode, gentlemen, he's here and he has got a vengeance. And the stash is in charge. Now we're going to cut to a promo that I want to hear about your guys' opinions on this after the Raw recap. I want to talk about this a little bit. But we saw the Firefly Funhouse, aka a twisted version of Mr. Rogers. And Bray Wyatt returns as basically like a Blue's Clues Mr. Rogers-like children's show called The Firefly Funhouse. Wyatt creepily addressed the WWE Universe as if they were kids, said goodbye to his former self by taking a chainsaw and cutting through a cardboard cutout of himself, and the segment also introduced the buzzard puppet named Mercy and the creepy doll from the prior vignettes, and I don't remember what her name is specifically, I don't remember. But leaving the WWE Universe dumbfounded by what it just witnessed. And if you notice in the Firefly Funhouse logo, there is a rabbit that's in the bottom, that's in the right side of that logo too. So I think he's got a third puppet character that he's probably going to pull out as well.
Just carrying puppets everywhere, damn.
Yeah. And then finally we had the number one contender match for the Universal Championship between AJ Styles and Baron Corbin. Basically, the physically superior Corbin worked over Styles for the beginning of the match, dropped him across the guardrail, heading into the final commercial break of the night. Corbin dominated the action, grounding Styles and mocking him as he dealt the beating. Styles mounted a comeback then, and after some back and forth, tried for a Styles clash. The alert Corbin fought out. He kicked his way out of the hold. Styles answered, countering an end-of-days attempt with the calf crusher, and Corbin fought that off, and the match continued. Styles, though, was a relentless pit bull. Wow, okay, Bleacher Report. This is very interesting. This is all from Bleacher Report, by the way. We should start giving them credit for this, by the way, of a competitor, and eventually delivered the phenomenal forearm to score the win. Whew. After the match, Seth Rollins came to the ring, and they stared at each other, showing of respect. They shook hands. So Styles is going to be facing Rollins at Money in the Bank, and that's how we ended Raw, gentlemen. So
Finally, they're facing each
that
other.
Raw was something else. There was some good stuff. There was some bad stuff. Let's do a high and a low for the show. I want to definitely talk about the Firefly Funhouse bit. And then we also have to get into our bits of the games that we have here, gentlemen. Yeah. So, Kevin, I want to hear your high and your low of Raw.
High and low. So, what's my favorite and what's my least favorite?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Wow, that Becky Lynch and Alicia Fox match was just terrible. Alicia Fox was in.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah, Alicia Fox, I don't know what the hell she was doing. They kind of botched a couple times, if I remember correctly. It was not great. But my favorite was that first match, Triple Threat, with AJ and Ray and Samoa Joe. Really good spots. Good back and forwards here and there. It was a nice... How long was it? I think it was almost 20 minutes. It was really fun. I liked that one. It was weird that it was that first match. But yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, you know, what they were going for with that, the two triple threat matches was interesting. And I liked how they had that as the opening match. I guess you got to start hot and then try to end hot, I guess, if you have AJ.
Also, I don't know if you called it out during the recap, but they announced a triple threat at the very beginning of the show. Like, oh, they're going to have a triple threat to see who's going to face off each other for the number one contendership. And then, Triple H and Rollins come out, and they kind of talk about that again, like they didn't know that was gonna happen, because they talk about Brock and like,
I saw that.
Nobody, yeah,
it's like, so am I gonna face Brock and Money in the Bank? I was like, wait, what? Did he not see what's planned for tonight? That was funny, but
yeah, it's so weird. Payback, what about you? What was a high and a low of Raw for you?
I guess the worst is the Naomi Billy Kay match.
Oh yeah,
Why do you
match?
Yeah. Why was that the worst for you?
It's not a match. It's a slaughter. What are they doing?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't get it. Their use of the talent is sickening. Like that's what 3 losses.
That's
in a row?
I mean, we'll talk about Smackdown too, but
no, 3 losses.
I mean, we'll talk about Smackdown
in their last 3 appearances.
I am appalled by how they're using the champion. They're not making Iconics look like a formidable champion at all. So whoever they're facing at their whatever next appearance there is going to look like the Iconics are the underdogs, and that shouldn't be the case.
I don't think they'll keep the title for that long.
I
think they're I think they're trying to do a thing where something like they would do, like I see happening with Ryder and Hawkins, if they put them in more singles matches, where those two would lose every single match, like singles wise, but they win every single time as a tag team. That's the only thing I could see them doing. Even that, I just don't see why.
But Ryder and Hawkins lost as a tag team.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying. No, I'm saying.
Yeah,
I would see them doing that the same way.
Yeah, for sure. What was the high for your like favorite match or favorite thing that happened on Raw?
The first match, of course.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think for me, the low, gosh, I definitely it's a tie between like that women's match and also like
You want to say
yeah, it was both those matches. It was Becky Lynch and Alicia Fox. It was both the women's matches, and I'm sorry, and like I hate saying that, but that's just like the tell of the tape, man. Like both those matches were not great. So I would say that both those are my lows. And then also like the high, like you guys said, is for sure that triple threat match at the beginning, Ray versus AJ versus Joe. Just those guys are amazing together, and I think that should they need to put those guys together in more programs. Let's just say that. But they have way too much talent at the top of that card. I mean, you saw it's like, I don't know if Miz is going to be truly a player for one of the titles now, or maybe they just needed 6 people to fill those spots, but those are kind of the favorites for me. Let's talk about the Firefly Funhouse for a second. What in the world is going on here? What are your guys' opinions about this? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think that this is dumb? Or do you think this is a really good twist on Bray's character?
Oh, man. I want to see him wrestle and see if anything changes in that too, but it's a weird gimmick. Like, I don't know, like, I guess he's trying to be like kind of like the nice guy that people hate, or what?
No.
So
I don't know. What do you think, Payback? What do you think about it?
So before he came back, he had tweets about like it was like doctor reports. It seemed like it was like patient blah 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 experience blah blah blah, like stuff like that. And it's theorized that the doctor's name is Dr. Mercy. If you don't know that name, it's the name of the buzzard.
Mercy, yeah. Okay.
So the running theory is that he's being treated at some sort of facility by a doctor. Like what do you call that?
Yeah, psychiatrist type thing.
Like a sanatorium.
Oh, okay.
Sane asylum, there you go. That's what I was looking for.
Sane asylum, yeah, okay. He's getting Dr. Hugo Stranged.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. So, what do you think about that then? Do you think that that's the truth? Do you think that's where this is going, or?
He responded to it with a thumbs up on Twitter, at least.
Interesting. I like the twist of the character. The reason that I like it is because it's a darker twist. Like, this is not something that you're normally like seeing on WWE programming these days, with their like PG stuff, you know. But like this is a very subtle way of like getting like darker humor and darker like um undertones into it, you know. Um and also Bray looks absolutely yoked and looks so good. Like I saw him come out and I'm like, "Holy crap, he has lost so much weight. He is like super cut.
He's been working
Like
out.
he's been working out and looks good and I want to see where this builds to an in-ring type thing um with him. And he plays crazy well. So like this is if that's the crazy thing that he's going for, um I definitely think that it's going to be something that is going to truly be awesome moving forward. You guys have any last thoughts on Raw before we move on to SmackDown quickly?
Uh, that's
I
it.
mean,
Well, that
we can do the game. I mean, we'll do the games. Let me ask you a question here. So we have a returning segment, and Payback. Did you watch the Hulu version of Raw?
yeah, I know it was cut. It was 2 matches, by the way.
So there's a segment that we normally do here. It's what's got cut, and we'll go around the horn and we'll try to do this a little bit quicker here. But we try to figure out what got cut on the Hulu version of Raw. And since Payback watches the Hulu version, he's going to tell us if we got the answer right. And so Ant-Man's not included in this week. So if I don't remember if Payback gives points to this thing, but you Kevin, you and me want to play? Want to figure this out?
Let's
Figure
go
out
for
what
it.
got cut.
Let's do it.
Go for it, Andy. Let's go for it, Nick.
Nick. Go for it.
So
I'm gonna think that
yeah, Kevin,
worship.
give me your.
God, how did it go? I don't remember how it goes anymore. And we're still getting used to that in the song, but
We're gonna sink your war boat.
Warble, that's what I was called.
So what is the matches? There's 2 matches. That's what Payback said. So what do you think are the 2 matches that got cut this week from the Raw?
2 matches that got cut. Huh. I would think they had to cut the Naomi and Billy Kay. That's an easy one, right? I mean, why the hell would they put that on there? And I think they had to cut time. They got to cut time. Maybe the Bobby Roode and Ricochet. I'm going with those 2.
Oh, okay. Ricochet and Bobby. It's Robert Roode.
Yeah, Robert Roode. Oh, should I say?
Robert. Robert.
I guess,
That's what you're going with? Those are locked in answers?
No. You know what?
He has not locked them in.
I'm not locking them in. Naomi. I mean, they could cut that in. That's so weird. Yeah, I'll lock it in.
It is locked in. Payback, you got his answers?
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna go with the Billy Kay and Naomi match as well as my first cut, and then I do believe that we are going to get the Viking Raiders versus the Lucha House Party cut as well. So those are
That's
my
interesting.
locked in answers.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, Kevin got 1 match correct. And that was Rude versus Ricochet.
Dang.
They kept that 1 minute one? That was weird.
Yeah. I mean, the Viking, the Viking Raiders one was basically the same amount of time.
Hmm.
It was like one of the really short
So
match.
what was the other thing that they cut then?
It was Cedric Alexander and Cesaro.
Dang.
I was gonna say that too.
They would do Cedric dirty like that on his Raw debut. All right.
I was gonna say that. Shit. But I'm like, I don't know. That was Cesaro's debut.
That is what got cut. It's our first game for Raw. Kevin, did you fall asleep this week?
I did. I fell asleep.
So our second recurring segment of Raw is that Kevin tends to fall asleep during Raw. Raw is 3 hours if you are a watcher of WWE, which you should be if you watch the show or listen to this podcast. And Kevin tends to fall asleep a lot. And so me and Payback are going to guess where he fell asleep at and what he missed. So what were the things that he missed? A lot of times it could be the first hour, the second hour, or even the third hour, or even right before the match that he will wake up at. But we're going to see. So, Payback, where do you think Kevin fell asleep this week? Kevin,
Sami Zayn.
did you
At
miss?
the end of Sami Zayn.
Ooh, that's a good.
At the end of Zan.
That's where he.
When did I wake up?
And then Huh? Oh yeah, end of Cesaro versus Cedric. We're near the end. I would say it's probably towards the middle, but
That's a good one. I think Kevin fell asleep during the Sami Zayn promo, like you said as well. And I think he wakes up.
what a cover.
He wakes up in the middle of the Becky Lynch Alicia Fox match.
Holy moly. Man, that would have been a... Alright. Is that it, right?
That's my yes.
That's it, alright.
I believe that's everyone.
God damn, that's not wanting to see that he would have locked in his answer, but damn, that's a long sleep. I mean,
I locked it.
I wish I could have slept that long, but I actually, surprising, I pretty much fell asleep at the end of, what was it, the Usos interview. That's the end of Cesaro and Alexander. So I fell asleep during that, right when they were interviewing each other with the revival, and then I woke up at the end, pretty much right when the Viking Experience had finished beating up the Lucha House Party.
Okay. All right.
That's what happened. I was so
That's
confused.
A little bit earlier than I
Yeah,
thought.
I was so
That
confused.
is a very short nap.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of got woke up when I heard what was going on, and I just woke up from that, and I was like, "What the hell's going on?" I'm like, "Who's out there?" I'm like, "Oh, it's fucking Viking Raiders." Yeah.
The Viking Raiders, man. Well, that is what Kevin slept during. I can't believe that's a part of our podcast because, like, I mean, I get it. Raw is super long. We fall asleep during it. So, guys, you want to kick it over to a sponsor read, or are we going to just go right into Smackdown? How you guys feeling?
I mean, we can go. Doesn't matter. You're the host, dude.
All right, well, let's dive right into Smackdown, man. I'm just ready. I just finished watching this today because I'm a little bit behind on my watchings. And so, Smackdown on Tuesday was in Nebraska, and it kicks off with Shane McMahon coming out and talking about how he calls out Roman Reigns, demanding that he come out and do a face-to-face. The big dog. Thank God we don't have to hear that anymore from Michael Cole. But he took the challenge, came out to fight Shane O'Mac, but Elias comes out, and Elias hits him with the drift away, leaving Roman lying on the mat as Shane headed up the ramp. Well, later in the night, we will talk about this, though. This was just like a reoccurring segment where they kept cutting back to Elias and Shane, and Elias laid down a challenge to Roman at Money in the Bank, and towards the end of the show, Roman accepted that, so that is one of our matches. So then the opening match was Finn Balor versus Andrade, which, my God, boys, this is a really good one. Zelina Vega and Andrade, they cut a very brief promo before their match about how Andrade's back on SmackDown and the El Idolo is going to get his rightful title shot. Although during the match, Vega tried to interfere and distracted Andrade to set up the corner drop kick from Finn and then hit Andrade with the coup de grace. And so that was the end of that match. Balor getting the pinfall over Andrade, which I look forward to seeing more battles for the IC title, I think, with those two. I think they work really well together. Next up, you had Peyton Royce versus Kairi Sane, but before that match happened, you saw in the background, or like you just saw Mandy Rose talking to Sonya Deville, backstage, talking to Paige, and they're just like, when these two fail, don't come crawling back to us, and all this kind of stuff. And okay, and Paige is like, calm it down, we'll be fine. Hi, Paige here. And the Iconics, they came out on their way to the ring, looking at Asuka and Kairi Sane, and they made fun of them on the way to the ring, cutting their normal promo, saying that Peyton wasn't ready last week, and so she's gonna be ready this week. She's fully hydrated and all that kind of stuff, and she's ready. However, Kairi Sane easily, I would personally call this a squash, absolutely a squash match. Dispatched Royce and pulled off an insane elbow, and then afterwards you had Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville arrived, and they mocked the winner, giving a slow clap to Kairi Sane. And then Paige instructed Kairi quickly to put on her like angry face and stare back at Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville at the top of the ramp. Once again, the Iconics as champion, continuing to be pinned. So that's just cool. And then as that stare-off's happening, you got Jinder Mahal's music kicking. You're like, you definitely know someone in the back, maybe Vince, maybe Shane, or whoever's running the show now, with Road Dogg being gone. He's like, hurry up, get him out there. We only have a certain amount of time. We can't have a stare-off for this long. And Jinder Mahal just like walks out with the Singh brothers. Hey, look, I'm part of the Superstar Shakeup too. I'm here, woohoo! And the crowd just is like, what? Jinder Mahal's still on the roster? Okay. And Chad Gable came out as well over in that Superstar Shakeup. And so Mahal comes out, and Chad Gable's walking slowly down to the ring. And before we even know it, Lars Sullivan comes sprinting out and gives him a massive club clothesline, knocking Chad Gable out. And then he picked him up and knocked him into the steel post. Then the Freak came into the ring and laid out the Singh brothers before people in the hell was up. He came out, and R-Truth came out, ran to the ring.
Jesus.
Let me hear ya. What's up? He didn't do any of that. He just sprinted to the ring in his like casual stuff, and ran in the ring and got absolutely planted by the running sit-down powerbomb. He also hit one of the Singh brothers with that, and it looked like it broke that Singh brother in half. So that match never happened. So Lars came out and continuing to show off that Lars is being Lars. And that was the first hour of the show. And so we get into the second hour of the show here, and we had a face-to-face between Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch for the first time since WrestleMania. And so Charlotte comes out, the man comes out, and she's quickly demanding for another title shot against Becky Lynch. Lynch is like, I'd rather not take that because the queen, just gets handed everything, blah, blah, blah. She's got to get to the back of the line. Charlotte said that she deserves a title shot because she didn't get pinned at Mania. It was Ronda. And they had this interesting back and forth where it was like, where it was just interesting. Charlotte's just calling out Becky Lynch's about how she does her promos and comparing Charlotte to Lacey Evans. And then Bayley comes out after Becky does a little shout out to a few women in the back that deserve a title shot, and Bayley challenges for that same title shot. And so they end up, Bayley versus Charlotte ends up happening in the ring for a future SmackDown Women's Championship match. And while Bayley gave all that she had against Charlotte, Charlotte still emerged victorious with a spear And then Becky Lynch was just staring um, backstage at this. Like, you ever notice how awkwardly she stands when she's looking at the TV screen when they're
Everyone looks awkward when
like,
they
it's
do
just they're so weird. It's like, just turn your body, please turn your body.
that.
I get you're trying to show
Yeah.
off the title, but we get that you're the champion. Just turn your body. Stop doing this weird sexy side eye type thing that you're trying to do.
It's not only that them
And then
having titles. It's just anyone who's been looking at the monitor has a weird angle.
it's so dumb. Like, is that even comfortable to watch TV like that?
I don't think it is.
And then right away you have Kayla Braxton come up to Becky, and Becky states that she's going to defend both her titles. She's going to defend her titles against Lacey Evans and Charlotte Flair at Money in the Bank, and she's going to defeat them both. So you had Charlotte defeating Bayley by a pinfall in that match. So that later on in the night, that becomes confirmed then that at Money in the Bank, Becky's going to defend both the belts, which I thought was super interesting. Then the final thing that you see here is Kofi Kingston versus Shinsuke Nakamura. This is the first time Kofi's been in singles match since Mania. And so you got Big O and Xavier. They're cheering him on from their own personal announce table during the match. Kofi struggled at times against Nakamura to overcome the reach and the striking ability of Shinsuke. Although Kofi caught him with a jumping double knees, or the double stomp, and then hit a Trouble in Paradise as Shin went for the Kinshasa, and then Rusev runs into before the pinfall, causing a disqualification, and the heels took out Woods, leaving Kofi and Kevin Owens alone in the ring. And Kofi pushes Kevin out of the way to take out, I think it was Shinsuke, and Kofi turns towards Kevin Owens again quickly, and Kevin Owens hits him with turning on the champion, hits him with a big super kick, and then just continues to go nuts and beat the living crap out of Kofi. And then Woods came to try to help, and Kevin Owens picked him up and gave him an apron powerbomb. So Kofi defeats Nakamura by disqualification, and at the end of the Smackdown, you have Kevin Owens staring intensely at Kofi Kingston from the top of the ramp. And that is how Smackdown ended. Boys, what is your thoughts about this? What are some favorite things that happened, and what are some low things that happened? Kevin, let's kick it to you first.
Favorite thing would have to be I liked that Charlotte Flair and Bayley match. That and
It was a pretty good match.
Yeah, that and Finn Balor and Andrade was good. They're two of my favorite matches. I like the chemistry, especially with Charlotte Flair and Bayley, since they know each other a lot and
Oh yeah.
they wrestle each other for a long time. So I like that. And which match did I not like? I mean, I guess the Kairi Sane and Peyton Royce, just because I knew who was gonna win after weeks of them losing, so it wasn't surprising. I guess that wasn't my favorite match. Weird thing that
In a row.
Yeah, weird thing that I saw. The weird thing was that Big O turned right away after a week or 2 weeks, so that was surprising. I didn't think the Big O would have.
So that definitely. Well, I was wondering if that was going to happen coming up, because was Kevin Owens going to get a shot at the WWE Championship? Was that going to be Kofi's new opponent? Because who else is Kofi going to face now that Daniel Bryan's out? Daniel Bryan's was the big heel, so they have to have some big heel be in the title picture here. So, and I didn't know who else on the card could fill that.
From what I heard,
really on the roster.
What I heard is Kevin Owens was supposed to be a face, after those promos he had and vignettes of him hanging out with his family. It was supposed to be him being a face, but like ever since Daniel Bryan is injured, they had to kind of like turn him. So that's why he pretty much turned.
Yeah.
But I would have thought maybe another week with New Day before the pay-per-view or something like that. So
Maybe before, yeah. But maybe they wanted to set up for next week that they're gonna have this face to face and figure out why he turned or whatever. But I don't know. Obviously, you know why he turned. He grabbed the title and lifted it above his head. He wants the title.
it's kind of obvious, yeah.
It makes you think that they're doing they want to have a 2-week build before they do the title match, I guess.
It's
But
too soon, though.
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
It doesn't feel natural at all.
I mean,
No, it doesn't.
I guess it did surprise me. So they got me there.
Really?
I mean, I knew he was going to turn.
I knew it was going to happen. So.
Yeah, I didn't know the turn was going to happen this week. I thought they would do another week with it. And then when he turned, I'm like,
that
oh.
was less because of how good the story is and more because WWE is retarded.
Oh, come on, dude. Don't use that word here. But yeah,
Sorry.
It did surprise me.
Stupid.
He got me there.
No, that's stupid.
It's just WWE being
But,
WWE, so.
Yeah, it's them rushing storylines because they don't have anything in the can. They don't have any idea. Going out of Mania, they probably had this idea of like, oh, Daniel Bryan, but then Daniel Bryan got hurt, so like, who do you got as a big heel? There's really nobody on the roster that really fits that could be in their main event. So that's Kevin Owens. Get Kevin Owens in there. And I mean, you could have brought somebody over. You could have brought Drew over from Raw and have him be the big heel, like in the Superstar Shakeup, if they would have thought, you know.
That means Baron Corbin would be the big heel at Raw, which he is right now, but still.
Yeah.
Or, but they do have some people that are out without injuries that also have a D as the first letter in their name.
Jason Jordan. Should have known.
Yep, how'd you know?
Jason Jordan. God damn.
Gable Jordan.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what they're doing with Dolph, though, so.
Yeah, I don't think they even know what they're doing with Dolph. I think Dolph's just ready to ride off into the sunset. I guess the only other heel is Elias, who they brought over, you know?
But he has his whole
But
thing
like,
going with Roman
he's already
Reigns.
in the stuff with Roman, and I just think that's.
Oh yeah, and he's
dumb,
a priority,
but,
so that makes sense.
yeah, but all right. So for me, a high and a low for me in the matches. Gosh, I thought that the Andrade Finn match was very good. I think they work really well together. That's just proof of, if you put two guys in a ring that are really good workers, that they will like forever be okay. I don't know if you guys saw this video or the supercut that a fan put out there of Andrade catching Finn, like doing the suicide dive spot correctly.
Oh yeah.
So the dive that Finn does over the top rope, you're supposed to like catch him basically and let him fall on you. And they supercut all these big guys that Finn did it against that just duck their heads. And all they do is duck their head and their shoulder, and like Finn gets a full on shoulder to the back every single time. And like Andrade was like the first guy in a long time actually that's like actually caught him.
Yeah, he
properly.
actually does it right. I noticed that too when he did it. I was like, oh man, he actually did it correctly.
Yeah, so I like saw that and I was like, oh my gosh, like I think these guys are gonna have like really good matches and are gonna like trust each other enough to be able to do bigger spots and do more crazy things. Cause like Finn, when he's working, like Finn does his Finn thing, which is all the same. It's all the same stuff. Like when you're watching a Finn Balor match, you know for sure he's going to do it one of those suicide dives. You know for sure he's going to do a corner drop kick. You know for sure the coup de grace is how he's going to win. He has no other like finisher really. So like there's no variety to him. So when Andrade's in there, I think that he could bring out that variety in Finn Balor because Andrade just does some really cool stuff. But I don't know. That was probably my highlight. I did like like you said, the Bailey and the Charlotte match.
Yeah.
I thought they are finally using Bailey in a decent way, putting her in that match, showing her off a little bit. And probably the low of the show was just the handling of the the match itself, the Kyrie Sane and Peyton Royce stuff. Like I hate what they're doing there, but I didn't really like we talked about the handling of the Kevin Owens stuff, and how it's felt super rushed, like you guys talked about. That's probably like my low. I would have loved to give it like this pay-per-view, have it be just like somebody else, and then have that build to the next pay-per-view. Like at Money in the Bank, have Kevin Owens turn heel after the match is done, you know? It's just a bigger spot, I think, for him to turn heel, and then they can build that afterwards. But
I mean,
those are kind of my thoughts on SmackDown.
hell, you don't need to have the WWE Championship match at Money in the Bank. You already have the Universal match.
Yeah, you don't have to. But, like, they're going to because they think that you have to have both the titles represented on the show.
Yeah, I guess other
Because
people think...
Because Brock's not there anymore to be the part-time. They only show up 4 pay-per-views a year, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And also, I guess they want them both, just so people can think maybe the people winning Money in the Bank will cash it in or something like that. So, we'll see.
Yeah, that's true. But you guys have any final thoughts on SmackDown and what you thought about it? Are there other things that you know?
Payback didn't say his high and lows.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't. Sorry, Payback. What's your high and low?
All right. So what happened in NXT?
Do you not care? Do you not care about SmackDown, or do you think we just talked about it too much?
No, I said my pieces already.
Oh, did you? Okay, sorry.
I didn't specifically
Alright.
say what they were, but people can infer what was already said.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Yeah, we can move on to NXT then. Let's pop over.
Finally.
NXT was this Wednesday. A lot of cool stuff here. I like NXT. I love NXT. It's just it's a tighter show. I wish that we could have tighter shows, less matches for more time. But we will never get that on the main roster. Until Vince is gone. So the first match that came out was Humberto Carrillo from 205 Live came back to wrestle Jackson Riker of the Forgotten Sons. Do unto others. just a weird intro. I just can't get over it.
It's scary though.
Yeah. And then so Jackson Riker is a hoss. Holy crap. Like I'm gonna say this every week that he wrestles. The dude is just massive.
Dude, I swear, he can kill someone.
Every time he does one of these times after the match, like he's gonna pick a guy up and like throw him into a barrier and actually like decapitate him. But Riker was pretty aggressive from the get-go against Carrillo. He was just clubbing away at Carrillo. Carrillo survived right away, rolled to the floor. The fight continued out there. Riker continued to pummel him. He sent Carrillo into the barricade and then over the barricade. And they just ended up losing from a double countout. It was a no contest because of the double countout because Riker wouldn't get him back in the ring. And so they were just continuing to beat on him, throw him into the barricades. And afterwards, out comes Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan to make the save. And they had a 6-man stare down afterwards. Granted, Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan came out and just swung chairs at the barricade repeatedly over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
I was like, are they going to use it or what? What's
And
going on?
yeah, I was like, so they hauled off on a chair shot. I thought they were going to haul off on a head chair shot there for a second, but I'm like, that's not WWE, man. They're not going to do that.
I mean, NXT, so they're crazier.
It's NXT. They are crazy. Chains are off down there. Yeah, so that was that first match. Double count out and they're setting up the six-man tag team match maybe at some point in the future with
Maybe next week?
But
next week, I don't know.
Maybe next week or something, but it's going to be interesting because isn't Oney Lorcan and Carrillo both on 205 Live right now? Payback?
I know Carrillo is. I don't know about Lorcan.
Yeah, I don't remember where Lorcan... Or is Lorcan... I don't remember if he's on 205 Live or not. He might be. But it'll be interesting to see if they have that go anywhere because those guys might be have different things coming up. Granted, NXT's taped, and I get that, so they can do a lot of tapings in one sitting. They usually do, 4 or 5 in a row?
Yeah.
When they do these?
4.
Yeah.
It's like a month's
4
worth.
usually, yeah. Yeah. So that was the first match of the night. Then it kind of kicked to Candice LeRae. Going to be facing against Vanessa Bourne and Aaliyah, who are going to call themselves Bourne and Bougie. Okay.
That was such a dumb name.
Last week they challenged Candice LeRae to find a tag team partner, and she did. She got American Ninja Warrior Casey Catanzaro to come out and be with her in that match as a tag team partner. Catanzaro overwhelmed Aaliyah early on, but the veteran of NXT, she's been there 5 years, grounded her and quickly tagged in Vanessa Bourne. The heels isolated the smaller Catanzaro, working her over before a double neck breaker to the heels to Bourne and Aaliyah, allowed Catanzaro to make the hot tag. LeRae exploded into the match. She unloaded on Aaliyah and Bourne. She did this step-up senton. So Bourne was on her knees, facing kind of like in a downward dog position. And LeRae did one step onto her back and then did a senton onto her, which I thought was super cool. It was a cool thing to see. And then she pulled out the lion salt. Those Chris Jericho fans out there with the lion salt moments later, and earned the baby faces the victory. So LeRae and Catanzaro get the pin over Bourne and Bougie. So maybe this is setting up LeRae and Catanzaro being like a women's tag team moving forward, because you hear Morrow at the end of the match saying, "These guys are trying, or these ladies are trying to set themselves apart for the tag team titles or something," and I'm like, okay, cool.
I can see that. It was a quick match too. It wasn't.
Yeah, for sure.
Didn't feel too long.
Yeah, it was
right.
a pretty.
Yeah,
it was a pretty quick match.
Also,
right after that.
Before
yeah,
go, I think you didn't talk about the Adam Cole photo shoot with
Oh, it wasn't even on the recap. It didn't even show up on the recap.
Yeah, when
but that did happen. That did happen right after that first match, didn't it?
Yeah, and then someone, who was it? They wanted to interview him about the main event, and then Matt Riddle interrupts. It's just like, bro, why do you gotta be like such a whiny person, or why do you be jealous about Roderick Strong having the match and this and that? It was funny. And then
have fun on your stupid photo shoot, and then you see him do you see the bro do 3 different poses.
Yeah, that was so funny.
And you're like, oh my gosh.
God damn it.
But that happened, I think, right after that first match for sure.
Yeah, I did.
Was it after the second match that it was Kairi Sane and they interviewed Io Shirai?
Yeah, you get that too, right after the second match.
So after that second match, they interviewed Io Shirai, just talking about how I'm going to beat Shayna. No, she didn't say that. That's what Kyrie said a long time ago. But Io was just about to start saying something about Shayna, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir come in and just start beating the absolute hell out of Io. They like threw her into something, and then they like held her arms, and then I think Shayna hit her with a big knee, if I do remember right.
So, yeah, something like that. I can't remember what it was anymore.
Um,
Yeah, she did get that
yeah,
tag.
she,
Yeah.
she got attacked though.
And
And then right after that was the tag team, right?
yeah,
Or was there another promo right away?
they showed another tease of Kushida saying, "Oh, we
Yeah,
just gonna have a
Kushida.
match."
I am
Oh,
next week. Yeah.
I forgot. No, they did that tease, and then you see backstage William Regal having a conversation with. Oh no, yeah.
I think that was right. I was right after this tag team match, so I'll talk about that in a second. But
Okay. It had on mine. It
yeah, I
says
think
it
it was.
before the match. So
Oh, really?
yeah. So I don't know.
Are you on Bleacher Report? Where are you at, Kevin?
I'm on another one.
God damn it. Okay. So, but okay. So right before that, we'll talk about Kushida then. So Kushida is gonna get is signed and is gonna have in-ring debut next week. They talk about it. And so you go into the office and you see some random dude off camera with a mic shoving in William Regal's face, just like being like, "Do you think that Kushida who's his opponent gonna be? Will it be good? Blah blah blah." And then as you walk in, it's oh no, aka Chris, whatever his last name was in the Independent. Chris Hero. It was Chris Hero, I
Yeah.
think, right? In the Independents. I think I liked him more when he was in indie stuff. But Cassius Ohno comes in, says, "Hey, I'm doing great stuff over at NXT UK, man. Like I'm back." And like so I think there was supposed to be a moment where like he walks in and the crowd like goes crazy, but I didn't hear anything from the crowd.
I don't hear anything when you do that because that's pre-taped differently. At different
Yeah,
time.
okay. But like I don't know, they don't whatever. Like I was like, "Oh, it's underwhelming. Like I wish it was against someone a little bit different." But it was Cassius Ohno, and he's like, "I'd love to face against Kushida," and he walks out. William Regal's like, "Okay, we'll make it happen." So next week it's gonna be Cassius Ohno versus Kushida, and so I'm excited about it. I think that'll be a really good match.
Can't wait to see him. Can't wait.
If Ono gets like, I don't know, if Ono does like good stuff, you know, like there are some times where his matches are like unbearable, but there's some times where I'm like, huh, those are really good. I just think he needs to be booked properly. But all right, we'll move on to our third match then that came up, and these next two matches that were at the end of this card of NXT, my God, they were so good. So you had the War Raiders, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the War Raiders. Although if you look at the WWE Twitter and WWE YouTube, they call them the Viking Raiders.
I'm so confused on this.
They are the War Raiders. It just totally shows that they have no idea what they're doing on the main roster, and that was probably a last-minute change by Vince when they called him up. He's probably like, "I don't like war. Make them a Viking experience. I don't like Hanson. We already have a Hanson. Is there a Rowe? Oh no, we got Eric Rowan. That sounds too much like Rowe. So we got to change their names. What sounds like a Viking? Ivar? Yeah, perfect."
I can see.
What's the other guy's name? What's the other guy's name? I don't know, whatever. But the War Raiders, Hanson and Rowe, who they were called during the whole entire match, Eric, thank you, were NXT champions. They battle against the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. I love these guys. I think they're top notch. And it was a non-title match between, apparently these are two baby faces. All right, yep, perfect. Ford, while the Viking Raiders, the War Raiders, Viking Experience, whoever, were walking down the ramp, they took their titles off, they took everything off, and he absolutely did a suicide dive on the both of them. before the bell was hit, he grabbed one of them, threw him into the ring, and they controlled there. He hit him with a huge splash. Montez Ford has one of the coolest frog splashes. He gets so freaking high. Um, and but it was only a 2 count. And the Street Profits continued to capitalize on the momentum and controlled early, but they were not able to put away the title holders. There was a huge lariat by Hansen to Ford that kind of twisted the momentum, and then it allowed the champions to seize control. The Profits mounted a small little comeback, and Ford revitalized off a hot tag from Dawkins, unloaded on both Hansen and Rowe, and unfortunately, despite a lot of Ford's athleticism and agility, Ford succumbed to a pop-up power slam that allowed the Worley Raiders to escape with the victory. Really good match. I think the Street Profits are really good, and they matched up very well against the Viking Raiders, War Raiders, Viking Experience people. Kevin, was there any promos between that match and this next coming one?
Let's see. Let me see if I can the match. Pinfall. Okay. Yeah, the Mia Yim get an interview.
Yeah, Mia Yim had an interview. Wasn't super strong, but she was talking about how she feels like she should be in the conversation against Shayna Baszler for the women's title, and she listed off the other people saying they couldn't do it, but basically just ended that interview saying, I've got something else that they don't, and I should be the next one up for the NXT Women's Championship.
Also, there were, someone had the mic, and then 2 other people were like recording on
with a phone, yeah.
Yeah, which is weird. I was like, aren't everyone in the same company, or are these actually different people interviewing her? It was weird.
I think they're trying to make that seem like there are multiple reporters from different things. They're trying to make it like a sports interview type thing. I don't know if you ever.
Yeah, I mean,
where they have all the different outlets or whatever there, but
yeah.
It doesn't make sense because these are promos and interviews that are by one company.
And it's the first time you see it, so it was like weird.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was the only thing between.
But that's the only thing between those two, between that and this next one and this main event, man. Whew, it was so good. These two are so good wrestlers, and I think, honestly, I see a breakup of Undisputed Era happening, and I see Roderick going off and doing more solo stuff. But we had Gargano versus Roderick Strong here. After Roderick Strong perpetuated an attack that ended with Undisputed Era standing tall over NXT champion Johnny Gargano last week. This week, he battled against Johnny Wrestling in the non-title main event. The match started competitively. They did a lot of strong chain wrestling there. I don't know if you saw that right at the beginning, which I thought was super cool. Gargano fired off with a flurry of offense. But a half Nelson suplex from Strong on the apron turned the tide in the heel's favor. Strong maintained most of the control for a lot of the match until the action spilled to the floor. Pretty much at one point, the NXT champion countered a wheelbarrow suplex attempt with an arm drag, and it sent Strong straight into the steel steps. He would later follow up with a slingshot spear. But could not keep the former tag team champion down for 3 after that slingshot spear. Gargano unloaded on Strong, continuing to, he was on his way to victory when he got a little greedy, and Roderick Strong countered another slingshot spear with a butterfly suplex backbreaker, which was really cool to see. And then as Gargano tried for the Gargano escape, Adam Cole appeared for the distraction. Then comes Bobby Fish. Then comes Kyle O'Reilly together with Bobby Fish, and they're joining in. But then, out of nowhere, Matt Riddle made the save. And with the official distracted, Cole accidentally does a step-up enziguri onto Strong, who was coming out of the ring, and Adam Cole just completely clocks him, Roderick Strong over the head, which then led into a super kick from Gargano, and that is how Gargano pulled off the victory against Strong. And then after the match, you see Roderick Strong being like, "I was so close. What the heck are you doing, Adam? Like, Adam, what are you doing?" All this kind of stuff, continuing to show some dissent between those two members of Undisputed Era. And that was the end of the show. That was NXT this week. Really good. A really good show overall, I think. Payback, did you watch NXT this week?
Oh,
He did not. Okay, Kevin,
It was a good show.
did you? It was a good show. What do you
show.
think?
I like that Johnny Gargano and Roderick Strong match. At the end, you know, when they're
There you
all
go.
like in the ring with them, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna
Yep.
turn on them today, aren't they? Today's the day Roderick Strong gets kicked out, and I'm like, oh, it's not. It's alright. It's alright. We're good.
Yeah, I thought maybe they were gonna turn then. I thought maybe that was gonna be Roderick um, turning on Adam, hitting him with like a quick knee or a running knee strike or something. Or maybe it was Adam Cole. I was thinking somebody was going to turn on somebody, you know? Like I thought that maybe Adam Cole was going to come in the ring with Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, and then they're all three going to turn on Roderick. Like I thought maybe that was going to happen.
What if
But,
what if it's the opposite? What if they turn on Adam Cole?
ooh,
Oh,
that would be interesting. That would be interesting. I would love that.
we'll see.
The
Also,
plot
like
thickens, Kevin.
it does. It does. It's getting interesting. I'm curious what's gonna happen in the coming months.
Absolutely.
I also like that.
Yeah, I loved that. I loved that tag match. I
Yeah.
loved Johnny Gargano versus Roderick. Um, the match that I probably was like meh about the most was the tag match between the ladies, but Candice LeRae is great. I
Yeah.
think she's going to be a really good like woman star moving up. She pulls off some awesome stuff and is a great worker. So, but yeah, that was NXT this week. Unless you have something else that you are want to chomp at the bit about it.
I guess the tag team match. I was like, oh, is Street Profits just gonna like squash the War Raiders right away? You know, after Ford.
Well, I thought maybe that was what's going to happen too. Were they going to squash them right away? Because I'm like, okay, they're on Raw now, so like, how are they going to do that? How are they going to work through that?
Yeah.
But
That was
I don't know. Maybe they're just going to continue like they did with Alistair and Ricochet until they find a tag team that they think is well built enough to have the titles.
yeah. They still got time to build up. The next NXT takeover is in June, so we got another month.
For sure. But that was the NXT recap of the week. I think right now, before we go into the news, we might have a Japan report coming in. Is that correct, Kevin?
No New Japan report this week. I'm sorry, guys. I know you wanted to know what was going
Wow.
on. I had some technical
I
difficulties.
want to know the saga. I want to know the saga of Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage in this box that had Randy Savage in it or something. I don't know. Weird.
I know.
But
We do. Well, next week we'll get one for sure. Don't worry. I can get them on.
so no New Japan report this week. So we're gonna kick it on over to one of probably our last segment, talking about some news here with Payback over there. So Payback, what do you got for us for some news?
so first off, as you know, Goldust was let go by the company. I don't know if I said that last week.
I'm a big fan of, just to get my opinion on that quick, I'm a big fan
Yeah.
that he's going to be facing Cody at Double or Nothing.
Well, let me get to that. So,
Okay.
I'm a
Dustin
fan, too.
Rhodes officially retires the Goldust gimmick. We'll never bring it back
Yeah, that was on Twitter. I thought that was really classy.
Yeah, sad day and a legacy of a character. But Dustin Rhodes apparently is going to be wrestling someone at some indie thing in July or something. I don't know. Or May. I don't remember when it is.
Never give up, no, never say die.
The warrior cry.
So Dustin Rhodes is facing who? Who's he facing?
I think it was like his half brother or something. I don't know. I don't think he's popular enough to know his name.
What kind of reporting is this? He doesn't know his name. God. Who is it?
He's facing Cody, man. It's gonna be so good. I
Some
think they're
people
gonna
even
pull
say
some
that
cool
he
stuff.
took his nickname.
Can't wait.
I mean, Dustin's nickname, but
Stardust,
no, the other one.
Goldust?
American Nightmare.
Yeah, that one.
American Dream?
Oh, no, that's his dad.
I know. I'm just saying everything.
So apparently WWE also bought a building right next to its performance center, and they plan on expansion.
Jesus.
I believe it's another room for, I think it was for promos and entrances, that practicing those.
Wow, buying a building just for that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
They're going for it, man.
All right, so I have 3 articles here. So
About what?
yeah, they're all about the same thing, but I'm gonna talk. I have actually more than that. Viking Experience is renamed the Viking Raiders. I'm just gonna do it right now.
God.
Okay.
God.
So Fox. This first report says. Sorry.
What's going on? I'm like, God,
so
what are you
Fox-
doing?
I was awaiting in anticipation. What's happening?
This
Yeah.
report says that Fox requested that Andrade and Zelina be moved to SmackDown due to the lack of Latino stars for the Fox Deportes simulcast.
Wow.
Another report says it was Charlotte's influence, and then the third report here says it was a combination of both, but Charlotte had more pull
More steak.
somehow. I mean, it wouldn't make any sense anyway. I mean, I guess it makes sense that it's specifically Andrade. Like, they could have brought back Ray or something.
I mean,
But, yeah.
never mind. I was saying maybe they want someone younger, but I mean, Andrade's not that. I mean, he's 29, so.
What I'm thinking the conversation with Vince and Fox was, or Vince's words to his staff was that Fox said they wanted Black and Latino stars on SmackDown, and that's the reason why Andrade and Aleister Black are now on SmackDown.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
It's interesting.
Also, Backlash has been
Oh,
rescheduled.
I get the joke. I was like, I don't get it.
Well, I mean, well, I think I saw somewhere too that Vince likes having married couples on the same promotion. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Payback? Yeah.
No, I didn't mention that. But
Yeah, but like I read that somewhere that like he likes having married couples on the same promotion just to like
Yeah.
promote
that's
good,
why
like,
Black was moved.
good stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I don't know about it. I
Andrade
don't know
and
about
Charlotte. Yeah.
She ain't married yet. But like
No.
And they already.
it's Charlotte Flair, bro. It's Charlotte Flair, bro.
Yeah. And it's weird that, they come out, Charlotte comes out and try to come out they announced they were dating like a couple weeks ago before the shakeup, and they still switched them over to the Raw brand, so it was weird. So, but yeah. Go on with the next story.
All right. Backlash has been rescheduled for June 23rd in Tacoma, Washington. I think
When was
that's
that? When was the original date?
It was the week before, June 16th. But
So they're
if you
going
didn't know,
with,
the Saudi
what's,
Arabia events the first week of June. I think it's June 7th, or no, sorry, June 9th.
that got canceled, I thought.
No, it did not. It was
Oh.
no. You're thinking of May one that got rescheduled for a month. Like where Money in the Bank is now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where it was supposed to take place.
There's no way that they would ever cancel the Saudi shows, in my
No.
opinion, because they bring in so much money.
I don't think they can.
Oh, yeah.
They're under
So
contract.
June 7th would have been it is the Saudi Arabia show, but they didn't want 2 pay-per-views in
The same week.
like 2 weeks. So they're doing it a week later. Now they can build for 2 weeks.
Yeah, from the Saudi show. Do you think?
Yeah.
So I remembered last year when they did the Saudi show. What was it, Crown Jewel, or was it Greatest Royal Rumble? They did 2 of them, whatever. But they had like a weird 2-week, like barely any build for anything. Like it was basically all one-off matches, really, right? Like they didn't really do much building for anything at the Saudi shows.
The second one they built that Undertaker and Triple H.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess for that one.
Roman and
Maybe it was
Brock.
the Greatest Royal. Was the Greatest Royal Rumble the first one, Roman and Brock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I just remember, I don't know, they just weren't very. I just think they're way too discombobulated and they have way too many things going on at one time. So I
agree.
hope that I hope the Saudi show is good, but like
I don't find them
it
too
could be
entertaining
really bad.
anyways, too.
There's way too many old timers.
I mean, Triple H got injured at the Saudi show, right? If I remember correctly, that's what he got injured, and that's why he almost missed
When he
WrestleMania.
screwed up his shoulder.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I don't know, man. Not a huge fan of the Saudi shows. I think they should be. But they're under contract, like you said, and they make so much money, so.
Not a huge fan of them having couches in the front row, you know? Like, what the hell? How come we don't get that in over here?
Those are all the princes, bro.
You know what? I don't care who they are.
You're not a freaking prince.
How do you
Yeah,
know?
those are all the prince's friends and the other rich people.
Those are all the investors, Kevin. Your $9.99 a month for a WWE network isn't enough.
It's not enough. Damn it.
Oh, actually, I have news on that too. So apparently they're moving away from a tier. Sorry, they're going towards tier price structure.
Netflix for wrestling.
Basically,
great.
They're gonna have free programming. Some they haven't said what it was gonna be, but they did say they're gonna have free programming, and that there will be downloadable content that you can download on their app. I guess they're doing a redesign on the app to do that.
Huh.
Um,
So does that
yeah,
mean you
they're
could
gonna be adding a
download
lot more
pay-per-views and
programming.
watch them on flights and stuff, maybe?
yeah, that's exactly.
That'd be kind of cool.
So
That'd
is
be
this
kinda cool.
official or rumored? Because I remember them talking about this a long time
No,
ago.
yeah. Well, I mean, this was never taught to the public either, but this was talked about to the shareholders.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. I mean,
This has always been their plan going forward. They just do it very slowly.
Very, very.
well, at first I
slow.
heard it as a rumor, like a long time ago. We didn't know. That's why I was asking. Did they actually talk about it this time? But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, and then yeah. Also, they announced they're doing a tour in Latin America, and for the first time ever, they're having a live show in Colombia. I think it's
Like a
pretty noteworthy.
WWE live event? Like
Yes.
A live event? Okay.
Like, you know, they have
I thought
those
you were
tours
saying
they
like
always
a-
go on.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about like a Raw or SmackDown taping or
That's what I
something.
thought too.
I don't think so. It doesn't say anything about that.
I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't
Nice.
done one like that in a long time. I remember the last one I did was in Mexico City. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, they do. They do London a lot, don't they?
Yeah. But I guess they have a bigger fan base there. I mean, that's what they think. So they go there all the
Yeah,
time.
I mean,
Other places on this tour are Lima, Peru, Ciudad de
Peru?
Panama, Santiago,
Ah.
Chile, Buenos Aires, Argentina, and San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Let me see. I have 3 more things.
Whoa, a lot
So
of news
first
this
off,
week.
yeah, I love this. Jeff Hardy seems to be injured from Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
He had a tag match with
was on
Matt, and then he did not
Live
appear
event.
on Sunday. He was replaced with. I cannot for the life of me remember who he was replaced with on Sunday.
Bray Wyatt.
On the live event? Bray
Yeah.
Wyatt.
I think it was Chad Gable.
Put them together, there you go.
Or with Ali.
They
One
might-
of those two. I can't remember.
I forgot. Yeah, they might drop the titles because I think he's out for a good while. So
Yeah,
I didn't hear
Mm.
anything about his condition, so possibly.
it might be a squash.
yeah,
for
I didn't hear
sure.
exactly what it was condition to, but I heard like it pretty much he's gonna be out for a long time. He won't. Yeah,
Man,
ouch.
just when Matt comes back,
Yeah.
and like gets looking good, maybe Jeff in his rehab can.
I don't think they ever defended the titles,
Step-
right?
No, they won them on SmackDown a few weeks ago.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Damn.
Oh, okay, I'll do those. Alright, B Team has apparently been moved to SmackDown Live.
What?
And they also,
Oh,
they
yeah.
also have new merch with that says B Team University. I'm not sure what that's about. But probably a gimmick coming up.
Oh my gosh. B team, go,
Oh.
go.
Is that it? I have one.
So apparently, Dean Malenko quit his job backstage as an agent for WWE.
I did see that
Yeah,
too.
yes, that too.
I'm not exactly sure what that's about.
He was an agent, I think, and a booker for
Yeah.
matches, I think. But I don't know what it was about
There's like
either,
not
but-
a lot of news. Apparently, the first one was that he quit, but then also there was other reports saying he did not quit. He just is gone from the company, as in fired. I'm guessing.
Well,
And he's also booked
in-
for Starcast now.
insert Cody Rhodes gif.
That would be very beneficial for up and coming promotions to have background talent, I guess. Word for that.
Yeah, so on AEW right now, who are the only background people that we know of, really? JR,
JR, Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn.
Really gone. We know the other
And-
announcer. I forgot his name though.
Cody.
I mean, it's... So I don't know who else would be background guy producers, So I mean,
Yeah.
Dean
I'm
Malenko
guessing-
coming in would be a big thing.
I'm guessing Dustin as well.
Yeah, after this match against
Yeah.
Cody, for sure.
Yeah, probably.
Man, if they get Dean Malenko though too, like that'll be a nice back room, creative and stuff.
Oh, definitely.
And like Malenko put on beautiful matches against Eddie Guerrero, and
God,
his whole career was like
he's amazing.
great matches and after great matches, and like knew how to storytell, knew how to like do great mat wrestling, like and chain wrestling. Like him and Eddie, I remember watching one of their matches in WCW where it was like just crazy. They just kept going and going and going and going and going and going, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's not very many rest holds. Like they're just going, and I'm like, this is awesome. So I'd love to see like that influence on a lot of these like up and coming guys that we don't hear a lot about in AEW. Like a lot of the guys they've announced coming. Like that'd be a great influence on them.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Man of the 1,000 holds. He's
The
incredible.
man of a
Wait a
1,000 holds is
second.
right.
Yeah.
That's Chris Jericho.
No.
Uh,
That was
do we want to talk about the Money in the Bank ladder match leaks at all?
Do you have the link to it? I want to see what it is. Like.
I mean, I have
It's
pictures.
just it's a picture
the
promo
pictures,
image,
yeah.
I think.
I want to see that. Also, is that the last thing? Because there's one thing you're missing. You didn't talk about
Go for it. Yeah, that's the last thing I have.
the
Go
Undertaker
for
and
it,
Kurt
Kevin.
Angle pulled from Starcast.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, I saw it. I just didn't.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, after seeing Undertaker back on WWE the night after.
Yeah, seeing Undertaker back, and then I'm sure Kurt's still doing like backstage things.
The Kurt one I was surprised by. Come on, damn it.
Well, they signed new deals that say you can't do things like that.
Yeah, you can't have 90-day cease and desist like afterwards.
No, I mean it's what do you call it? No, I mean about the Starcast.
Oh, really?
You can't do
Starcast
events like
specific?
that.
Unless they're WWE ones.
Yeah.
Well,
Or WWE approved ones.
it's weird because how come they were up for it at the beginning, and then now they can't do it? Like, what happened there? Like, they wouldn't know.
Like I said,
they would have known.
new ones.
Oh, I guess.
They signed new contracts just like in the last week.
Yeah, that could have been. That's it.
And their agents had to pull them from it because of what was in the contract.
Also, you would think they were like, oh, can we just at least do this and that's it? Or yeah, but
Kurt retired though. I'm trying to think like what he got signed on to do.
Yeah.
Backstage stuff that I'm assuming.
The Undertaker's not doing. Oh no, they gotta set something up. Undertaker for the Saudi show.
Probably.
Yeah, more than likely.
We gonna talk about these photos?
Yeah,
Kevin?
how much time do you have, Tegato?
We got a little bit yet.
Oh, let's talk about that.
All right. We're gonna talk about the woman's first then, which is the first photo.
For sure.
So if you haven't seen this, I'm just gonna name off people and then we're gonna talk about it. So this is obviously subject to change.
Leak stuff, yeah.
These are just early advertisements. Usually these advertisements are not always used. Like there was one for Evolution that was Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus, and that was a thing.
Yeah, but she got injured too. But so yeah, these change.
Yeah.
All this changes. All
This
the
is
time.
usually given to the arena people just to give them like a look at what they can see, maybe like a preview.
Yeah, so just an example of that, like here up in Minnesota at the town that I live in, they had a WWE live event on Easter Sunday, and before Mania they were promoting it as Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE title. This is a live event. And then they also said like Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. So they like advertised that for like 3 or 4 weeks before Mania, and then after Mania it just switches super quick to Kofi Kingston versus it wasn't Daniel Bryan, it was somebody else. And then the other one was Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch for the Smackdown title. So like those things change all the time, and they're just what the promoters put out. So it's going to be it's interesting to see how many of these people are actually going to be in the match, because I see a few faces on here. I'm like, what?
I see the sound, I'd be like, ooh, that'd be interesting. Oh yeah, I know the which one you said. What? I know which one you're saying.
All right. So from left to right, we have Tamina,
God. What?
Sasha Banks,
What?
Natalya, Naomi, Bayley, Carmella, Ember Moon, and Sonya Deville.
Oh, that's interesting.
The Sasha Banks ones is weird. I guess.
Think so? They're advertising her way before WrestleMania to be.
She hasn't had any. Has she had a match on Raw since WrestleMania?
No, well that's why the whole like deal with her and being mad at WWE. So that's why I was like, oh, I'm surprised she's actually in the match.
Well, also Tamina was like, what to me? Like I'm like, what the hell is Tamina in this match for?
She hasn't had a match since WrestleMania either.
I mean, Nia Jax can go.
Their partner's injured.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
if Nia was not injured, she would be the big woman
Yeah.
in that match. Yeah. So I get why they did this. Like, you got to have some power with like Natalia's more of a power character, a little bit, and then Tamina. But Sonya Deville instead of Mandy Rose is very interesting to me.
They might set it up, I guess.
I think speculation was that there is either like a, what do you call it? They build towards like, those matches they have. Who's going to be in the Money in the Bank? I mean, Alexa's going to say it, but she might make matches, I guess, for open spots.
Oh yeah.
Well, she's only announcing the Raw people.
I mean, she could announce that there's a match that on orders by Vince or something.
That's true.
From this,
But
who's
that's
on
interesting.
Raw? It's the people on the left, right?
Yeah, people.
Yeah,
left.
left
Yeah.
side.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, because Ember Moon, yeah, Smackdown. Okay, that Ember Moon got me confused. I couldn't remember where she was at.
Yeah.
can see that.
It's a little
Sponsored by Papa
a
John's.
little interesting. Sponsored by Papa John's.
And whatever the thing on the left is.
Yeah, what is
So
it?
do you think this is real? Do you think these
Excel
are
Center.
the
It's the
8
yeah.
that they're going to be there?
I think there's going to be changes.
I mean, I think so too, but
Yeah.
I just don't
I
know.
could see
What?
Sasha getting pulled.
Yeah.
If we don't see her this week, I think Sasha's being pulled for sure.
I mean, if she doesn't get announced,
Let's switch.
then she's been.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if she doesn't get it. I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, I forgot that they're announcing who it is.
Yeah, I always
today.
forget that too.
Let's talk about the men's one. Payback.
Right. The men's going from left to right, which is weird because there's only 7 people here. Is Drew McIntyre, Cesaro, Rey Mysterio, Ricochet, Aleister Black, Andrade, and Lars Sullivan.
I feel like they've done this before
That's-
with 7 people.
It's a little weird. Did
I've
they
seen one with
normally
10
only do this
people.
with 6? Wasn't
6
when
or
they
8
first
are
came
the
out,
usual
it was
ones.
6.
Yeah. It was 6 and then 8.
I mean,
There was a 10.
I for sure think they have Lars in it because they've been building him as a big heel on SmackDown. And Drew, I think, will be there, but I don't know about Cesaro.
Cesaro's really good in ladder matches.
He is.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely
He is
think
very
they
good.
need a veteran.
Ricochet's good as well.
Well, I mean, you got Ricochet and Lars who are in that North American Championship match
Oof.
at TakeOver
Wow.
was that last year?
Yeah, that was a really good match.
So, like, those guys are veterans.
Wasn't
I
Aleister
don't think
Black?
you haven't seen, he wasn't in that match.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Might have been NXT then.
I think he had the title during
Yeah.
that time.
He did.
Then Andrade was
him
in it,
against-
right?
No, Andrade was called up already. at that
EC3 was
point.
in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was EC3.
I remember EC3 being in it.
And Adam
It was
Cole.
Killian Dane.
Yeah. Killian Dane.
But I think Ricochet can put on a great show during this. Andrade, I think, could put on a good one. Lars would be able to hold his own as a big man. Cesaro is like the vet. So, I mean, this is a good combo of people.
You think they'll add an 8th person? Or
I
they
think
just
they
keep
could.
it 7th?
I think
So
they
who's
might. 7, they usually don't do odd numbers.
no? So who's the people from Raw? Drew, Cesaro, Ray, and Ricochet.
Ray.
So there's the 4. So who else on SmackDown could be?
Let me
I
see.
know, right? Like,
Let's see. Finn, maybe? I don't know.
as the IC champ.
I mean, I don't think that's weird. I feel like they've done that before, too. I mean, Chad Gable. I mean, they might
They definitely have done it before.
Yeah.
They have done that before.
Kofi, maybe? He can win it and cash it in.
Honestly,
No, they said
oh
Seth
my
Rollins. They
gosh.
said Seth Rollins.
I don't know, man.
Roman?
Oh yeah, but no, Roman's
No.
against Elias.
Yeah.
Unless something crazy happens.
Oh, no, you're right.
No, I mean, they can have, he wins his match, and, hey, we're going to put him
Oh.
in the match as the 8th person.
I got it. It's going to be Tamina.
You're so dumb. I hate you so much.
What? You're saying women can't be in men's ladder matches? That's sexist.
No,
No, but Tamina is in the
don't
women's
like
one already.
Tamina. I just don't like Tamina, and I don't like Nia. Nia just shows up out of nowhere like she did in the Rumble.
God, that was so dumb.
She's not injured after all. It's not sexist. It's just didn't work. But yeah, I don't know who else on SmackDown could do it. Like Finn for sure. Like I don't even know though. Is EC3 on SmackDown?
He's on Raw.
Right, yeah.
Well, that sucks.
Remember he got married by
I-
Braun?
Yeah, that's true.
Who can they have?
No Braun in this match again.
So wait, Oh, we should talk about this. Who do you think would win from that? Like, let's do the women's one.
From that women's one.
Yeah.
Let's look
If
back
it's true.
here for a second. It's me, it's DDP. Who's gonna win?
Bailey.
Yeah, they built up Bailey, but they also built up Ember.
I lost the picture. Where is it? Oh, here it is.
I think it's a SmackDown person. It's Bailey or Ember.
I mean, if they really want
Out
to
of
keep
that
Sasha,
group.
and if she actually is in the match, they might give it to Sasha.
That would suck because she hasn't been built at all.
They're like, oh, hey, let's play nice and let's
Keep her happy. Keep her happy.
keep her happy. She knows
yeah,
her cousin is Snoop Dogg. Oh.
She knows too much.
That's what I think.
She knows too much. If we lose her, she'll tell all our secrets to Brandy Rhodes.
So you guys think Bailey will win?
I think it's either Bailey or Ember. Those are my calls.
Yeah, I say Bailey.
Oh yeah, I would think either Sasha or Bailey.
Go to the men's.
The men's.
Let's get the men. Oh man.
It's probably gonna be Lars. I'm gonna be honest here, or Drew.
Yeah, they've been Lars or Drew are the two that they've been super building.
Probably
Yeah.
Drew, but
They haven't had a so the
Yeah.
last man that won it was a face, Braun. So like
No.
they
Was he a
and
face?
both the faces.
he was heel when he won it, but he turned face after he got it
Really?
because that was when he cashed it in on Roman.
When
He said
He was gonna be
"I
a
want-"
heel against Roman.
Oh, that was a
But,
little weird though.
did he
but
cash
then-
it in?
then he got-
I don't know.
Cash it in for a Hell in a Cell match, right? Oh, am I going crazy? Where did I get that from?
No, he cashed it in. He said, I'm going to tell you when we're going to do this. Next pay-per-view, I'm cashing this in. He's like, I want people to know me from see me coming. Braun. I'm like, okay, whatever.
That was a fantastic Tiago. You sound
That
just
got
like
paid.
Braun.
That got payback. That got payback. Yeah, I for sure think it's Lars or Drew.
Yeah, because everyone else is like a mid card. And we haven't really seen Aleister Black just have a match on SmackDown yet.
Solo, yeah.
Oh, did he talk about that vignette he had, promo thing? He had a dirty
No, because
SmackDown.
Bleacher Report sucks.
What?
No, he had a vignette. Aleister Black had a vignette. Yeah, I missed it.
Yeah, in the back,
Um,
also noted that the fans know who he is. He couldn't explain the complex tragedy of the character. That's all it said for mine.
I'm the girl. Oh yeah. I thought he was gonna end with "I will fade to black."
I guess he's changing his gimmick.
Is he?
I don't know. So the way that I read
No,
that
he's
from.
probably changing it back because he was so terribly ridden. Or
It's possible.
remember,
he was-
remember what
he
Michael
was
Cole
really,
said
like-
about him?
Yeah.
I already forgot. Thank God. But what did he say?
Michael Cole says a lot of stupid things.
Yeah.
Something about like being edgy or something. I don't remember exactly.
This.
Oh,
edgy
he's
new
very
superstar.
moody.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes I think Michael Cole doesn't know what he's talking about. He's gone downhill.
No,
He
he's
doesn't.
probably being fed lines by Vince.
No,
More
that's
than
it.
likely.
The Vince doesn't know what he's
But
talking
yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's Drew.
Well, we knew that already.
It's Drew or Lars that are winning that match.
about. Yeah, Drew's
You got
the worst.
any other stuff that we want to talk about here quickly?
I think that's it for me.
That's the
You-
news
Kevin?
with Payback. We had a lot of news this week. Thanks for giving us a shout and a deep dive into the dirt sheets. Dirty or whatever.
Can't
wrestling
use
sheets,
that.
Whatever that is.
We're
What
getting
is that?
sued. We're getting sued. Cease and
We
desist.
don't use those. We don't use those arguments. Cease and desist. Bleacher Report's coming after us because I talk shit.
That's why I don't name my source.
Well, I'm literally reading off the screen though, so I can't. I can't just not.
Thank God I'm here then.
Yeah, that's good. So that was the Botched Finish podcast. We definitely botched it this week. Come at us, Bleacher Report, and whatever that other one I said, something sheets. Yeah. So each and every, maybe every week. That's a good ad there in the bottom. Each and maybe every week we gather around this Xbox Live party and maybe Discord if we decide that.
This week. You're
To
right.
bring you all.
Freaking totally.
I know.
To bring you all the wrestling stuff from this week in WWE. That was Smackdown, NXT, and Raw. If you like that, you can follow us on YouTube. And we do have a link for that, which is bit.ly/botched finish YT. So bit.ly/botched finish YT. And that is our YouTube. And you can also follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/botchfinish. So there's no ED on the botch. And that as well. Kevin, stop writing in the Google Doc. Damn it.
I just noticed I didn't have the link there.
God, I figured it out. Oh, gosh, we botched it. Gosh, I'm botching this. Ugh. And you can also follow us at Twitch at twitch.tv/botchedfinish. You can follow us there. We do live streams of our live reacts to pay-per-views, as well as some WWE 2K matchups when we feel like it.
One day.
So give us one day. Someday we'll get over there. We'll meet you in the Tokyo Dome. So that was the show this week. We got Kevin, the one and only Ace X over there. Thanks for joining me on the panel this week, my friend.
No problem. 7-0, dude. 7-0. Just saying.
7-0.
I'm 7-0.
What are you talking about?
Just keep going, dude.
What are you talking about? Oh, okay, all right. And we got, and also
7-1.
joining us is Killer Payback. What was
You know what?
7-1?
Just for that
7-1.
comment, Kevin, I'm reducing your pay points by 1.
Oh, all
Pay
right.
points. He can just do it.
Go for it.
And
Okay.
I am.
Oh, by the way, I
Tagato.
didn't tell you got 2 pay points before.
Oh my gosh. Well, I am Tagato61, baby, and
No, he's
we
not.
are the Botched Finish podcast. I hate you so much. Ant-Man is not.
You know what?
Ant-Man
Payback has
is not
0
with
points
us.
on my game now. God damn it.
Damn it. And ladies and gentlemen, we definitely botched it. And that's it. That's a wrap. Unless my hero can save us, Ant-Man needs to come back and host the show.
I'll tell you right now, I did botch it at the beginning because my mic was turned off.
Nice.
My feedback wasn't
How
coming
far?
through. It was like
How
at
far?
10 minutes in. Like, we're like
Oh
kind of
my
halfway
God.
through Raw. And I was like, oh shit.
Luckily, you didn't talk that much during Raw. Oh
I
my
know.
gosh.
We'll see how it goes.
We botched it.